Hello, my name's Tom Red. I'm the Operations Manager at C4IR Ocean, and today I'm going to be talking about governance and business models for data sharing. So I work for the Centre for the Fourth Industrial Revolution for the Ocean, or C4IR Ocean, which was founded by the ACCA group of companies in 2020 and is affiliated to the World Economic Forum. We have a mission to enable a healthy and productive ocean, and we do this through unlocking the power of ocean data through new digital solutions. We're currently building the Ocean Data Platform, which is designed as a global, open source and integrated digital ecosystem to pilot and support new data-driven tools to improve ocean health and productivity. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about how the Ocean Data Platform works. We're able to connect to many different sources of data, whether it's from science, industry, or citizens. Once in the platform, we have tools that enable people to analyze the data and visualize it. And then, on top of that, create apps and services, which can be targeted for many different user groups from government, academia, to industry and civil society. Just one example of an app that we've built on the platform is the Ship Emission Tracker. This uses AIS data and an emission model to predict emissions from the global shipping fleet. We've made this data available and are now working with shipping companies to use real-world data to validate and improve the model. In this talk, I'm going to focus on the liberation of industry data and some of the reasons why companies don't share data and what's needed to solve this. It's not immediately obvious why they don't share data, and from what we've found, it's certainly not the most obvious reasons. In general, we've found a strong willingness by senior level executives to share data for the ocean, but there are a number of reasons why they don't. Last summer, we organised 2 executive roundtables under ODAC with leaders from over 20 major international companies. To understand what business models may work for sharing data, I thought it would be useful to share some of the insights we learned from those meetings. Last year, ODAC hosted 2 executive roundtable meetings with representatives from more than 20 companies. The purposes of these meetings was to try and understand why companies don't do more to share data. And I wanted to go through a few insights from those meetings. So the first insight is added value. And what I mean by that is that companies may hold a lot of data without realizing the value of it. And I don't necessarily mean economic value, it could be value to somebody else. And what we wanted to try and do is get companies to realize that the data that they hold has value, maybe not to them, but definitely to somebody else. And the example I could give here is, for example, an oil company that collects data on metops. And they use that on a day-to-day basis to plan their activities. But once the day's passed, that data is no longer useful for them. But for a scientist studying climate patterns in a region, that may be really valuable. So how do we get the company to realize that this data should be shared because it is valuable to somebody else? The second insight is trust. And I think trust is one of the really important and maybe the most important problems that we found. A lot of companies are really willing to share data, but when it gets down to it, there's something that breaks down. And it could be within the legal department or just a general sense of why should we let our data be shared? And so addressing some of the aspects around liability, third-party rights, and commercial sensitivity is key to this. And the third insight is scaling opportunities. Data sharing could lead to whole new business opportunities that we really don't understand now, but certainly those who move early will be in the best position to leverage these opportunities. And we wanted to create a kind of incentive where those companies who come in, share data early, are really poised and at the forefront to exploit these new opportunities. And the last insight I'm sharing today is demystifying. So data sharing, for many of us, and especially for companies that aren't used to it, is a very abstract term. Sure, sharing data is obviously a good thing. And we see that at a high level that companies are willing to share data. But what does it actually mean? How does it actually work? How do you resolve some of the legal issues, the concerns around liability or commercial sensitivity? And so what we really need is a few real examples to inspire others to see what data sharing could look like in the real world, and ideally to show how it could add value to their business, maybe economically, but maybe also to position themselves in the marketplace to show that they're a forward-leaning actor. And I think this is what we're really trying to do now, is to try and understand what opportunities are there to show other companies what they can do tangibly to share data. And I just wanted to share a few activities that we currently are involved in that try and address some of the concerns that companies have for sharing data, and also to try and promote the opportunities. And the first one is a project on the ocean data sharing legal framework. And this is run with our partner BAR, a law firm in Norway, and seeks to address the legal uncertainties and liability issues to create trust in sharing data through Ocean Data Platform. The other, which we have recently started to become involved in, is the Data for Common Purposes initiative, which is organised through the World Economic Forum, for which we're an affiliate centre to. And this is creating a new and flexible data governance model that allows for the combining of data from personal, commercial and government sources while still respecting privacy rights, and will positively empower a variety of stakeholders while removing unintended policy barriers. We believe that addressing the points raised in the executive roundtables will enable sustainable business models for data sharing. Through the Ocean Data Action Coalition, we are planning to make a call for action to companies who are willing to share ocean data, and others, such as BAR, who are willing to take meaningful action to enable others. So I didn't have too much time today, and just wanted to say thank you for paying attention to my talk, and I'd be happy to answer any questions in the Q&A later on. Please feel free to write me an email if you'd like to contact me and ask more details about what I've talked about today. I'd also encourage you to look at our website, just Google it. I think that's probably the easiest way of finding us, and look through some of the activities that we have. And again, if you have any questions, please just feel free to contact me. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference and look forward to the other talks. Thank you very much. Goodbye.